Mental Health Services Administration, in 2013, 28.7 million people admitted to driving under the influence of alcohol, and that's more than the total population of Texas. Alcohol affects the body by altering the brain, the body, and the connection in between them. Judgment, depth perception, and indispensable driving skills that are essential to drive safely are virtually gone. So that's why it's easy to think that you're driving normally when you're actually not. Because of this, drunk driving is a community issue that affects us globally and not just nationally. I've been in a car accident, and most people here would know someone that's been in a car accident, or maybe it's yourself. I was paying complete attention, and I have the green arrow, and it was my turn to turn left. And as I was turning, I got T-boned by a lady that wasn't paying any attention, or she was on her phone or something like that. And luckily, she didn't have any kids in the car, and none of us were severely injured, but it's still strange to think that even if you're doing everything right and you're being attentive, someone on the road can mess everything up for you and for themselves. And in this situation, no one was even drinking. Driving is dangerous as it is, and adding alcohol to that mix can make it increasingly more dangerous. When you put your keys in the ignition and drive away after drinking, you're not only endangering yourself, but you're endangering all those you pass while you're driving. Drunk driving affects all of us, and if we truly understood the repercussions of it, it would lessen the chances of an accident happening. So today I will be talking briefly about drunk driving and the problems surrounding it, and then Caitlin will talk about the causes, including the legal limit or blood alcohol content, the economic impact, and the lack of law enforcement. Maggie will then conclude by offering some solutions to the problem, consisting of automatic license suspension, interlock devices, and states mandating alcohol education programs. Although drunk driving is a problem on its own, it's connected to several other issues. A few reasons why it's a problem are drivers, passengers, and pedestrians being injured or killed, families suffering financial losses because an injured person can't go to work, and vehicles and property that are damaged and destroyed. It can also involve dangerous activities like aggressive driving, hit and run crashes, speeding, and underage drinking. Although law enforcement is a part of the entire situation, it's not entirely up to them to fix this problem. Each person needs to make a conscious decision to not drink and drive. And now Caitlin will discuss the causes of drunk driving.
People often believe that they're less intoxicated than they actually are. The legal limit, or BAC, is 0.08, or it has to be under that limit. A person under 21 caught with over that limit will be under the penalty of law. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, BAC is attained as alcohol levels rise in the system and cause negative effects to the central nervous system. Alcohol is then absorbed through the walls of the stomach and the small intestine, where it is then transferred over to the bloodstream until it is able to be metabolized by the liver. And then the alcohol level is measured by the weight of alcohol in a certain volume of blood. BAC is dependent on many factors, which I'm going to be talking about 3 today. And the first one is body size, and a person with a smaller body size will have a higher BAC than a larger person. The next factor I'm going to be talking about is body fat, and a person with a higher percentage of body fat will have a higher BAC than a person without that percentage of body fat, since it can be absorbed through the fat. And the last one I'm going to talk about is gender, and a woman will have a higher BAC than a man, even if they drink the same amount of alcohol in the same amount of time. And this leads me to conclude that judging intoxication by feeling is not the correct way of judgment, and it can be concluded by a breathalyzer, which will measure the amount of alcohol in your breath, or you can have a blood test done to see that level. According to the previously cited source, having a BAC higher than the legal limit can have detrimental effects to the way you maneuver a vehicle. One being, you can have the reduced ability to maintain lane position, and you will have an inability to brake correctly. And another one is the general vehicle control that you're in charge of. You have a lack of vehicle control. And then the last one is attention to the task you are performing. You will have a lesser attention to perform the task correctly. The financial side of drunk driving should be considered as it causes damage to the U.S. economy in an immense way. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 10,076 people were killed in the year of 2013 due to drunk driving crashes. That is one person dying every 53 minutes. Drunk driving costs each adult in the United States $800 per year, and that will lead to a bigger picture about the drunk driving issue causing the U.S. about $199 billion each year. Many people who drink and drive have never been caught but admit to it. Each day, at least 300,000 people drunk drive and under 400,000 people are actually arrested. The average drunk driver has driven 80 times before their first arrest, and this leads them to believe that if they can do it once, they can easily do it again without getting caught. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, if all 17 million people who admitted to drunk driving had their own state, it would be the 5th largest in the United States. Now Maggie will conclude by proposing solutions to the issue of drunk driving.
There are many maneuvers that we can all take individually to help prevent drunk driving as a whole. Our first possibility is automatic license suspension, and according to the Aheli Xavier defense attorneys, this is the immediate or mandatory license suspension and refers to the administrative act of suspending a driver's license on the spot. The driver is given a temporary permit for a week to 90 days, and then within this time they are given 15 days to challenge the suspension. If the suspension continues, it can last between 180 days, 6 months, and up to a year. When the person is given their license back, usually they are given a $125 fine. This is helpful because there's so many consequences that the person who received this is less likely to drink and drive again. Our second possibility is the ignition interlock devices. According to lifesaver.com, these devices are prevent a vehicle from starting if the driver has been drinking. It acts similar to a breathalyzer when there is a pre-programmed level, and when you breathe into it, if you are above this level, then the car won't start. So the first time if you try it and you're good, then the car will start like normal and you're able to drive. The second time, but if not, if you aren't successful the first time, then there will be a period of time where the car won't start, and then you're able to try again. However, each try that you continue and you fail, the wait for the car to start will be longer. And if you can't drive the car, then you can't drive under the influence, so it really prevents people from driving. And our last example are mandated alcohol education programs. These were shown during driver's education when we were all getting our licenses, and they were incredibly graphic, and they made you really think about the actual consequences of drinking and driving. However, many of us were 14 to 15 years old when we took these classes, so these seem pretty outdated and a long time ago, and you forget about them, but they are incredibly important. So we believe that it would be incredibly important that if somebody is if they have drinking and driving, then they have to watch these videos, because if you want to be able to drive, then you probably should be able to watch a video on it. So drunk driving is a huge problem that affects everyone in the world, and understanding its impact will help us all globally. So today we discussed the effects that has on everybody, its causes, and we also offered some solutions. So when and if you consider driving drunk, think about what you're doing and the ramifications it has on everyone and not just yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.